How to be gaslighting proof. The next step after no contact. This is Radical Self-Respect with Jared Mello. I have an ebook and an audiobook by the same name that goes over this to some extent. And thank you very much to everyone who's been liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Please do make sure to like the videos if you do indeed like them. And that helps the algorithm comment too, whether you agree or disagree with what I'm about to say. So jumping right in. How to be gaslighting proof. I was working with a client the other day, and we were going over an issue where we're looking back at people who have crossed our boundaries before, abusers that maybe have gaslighted us. And it got me thinking about, we all know if someone's going to be abusive and not change their ways, we have to cut them off, go no contact, or at the very least amount of contact necessary. And that's a very good first step. Now, if you want to take it a step further and go next level, I think we should consider this. Think about the ways in which they gaslighted us and talk about it, like write about how it makes us feel. What were the topics that were really bothering us? And often there are clues in there, and there are signposts pointing us in the right direction of where we need to grow in our own life. So, for example, maybe they were just talking down to us and we didn't have a good enough belief in ourselves to not believe it. I'm becoming to think that for some of us, our codependency is what really made us so emotional to the narcissist, borderline, or abuser's gaslighting tactics. And perhaps if we didn't somehow actually really care what they think, or if we didn't subconsciously give them power over us, we would have been more gaslighting proof. And let me explain further. So perhaps the topics they're trying to get on us at, they're a topic that we need to really work on in our own life. We have to accept something. And I'm really big on this part too. As opposed to staying resentful towards people and being really angry and pissed off at them, I don't think that's the most pragmatic way. I'm beginning to think of things as, what is the most pragmatically helpful way to look at those people in our lives so that we are able to show up as the best, happiest, healthiest version of ourselves? And anything less than that, I don't think serves us well. And that's why I think it's even more important to become gaslighting proof, to fix the chinks in our armor so that no one out there has that kind of power over us to really hurt us in the way that a narcissistic abuse and gaslighting can. Now, to preface, someone may try to still gaslight us, they may try still to abuse us and talk down to us, but the difference is, if we become gaslighting proof, we've healed that codependency in us that would normally make that really bother us emotionally. Like, we can observe it more casually and say, okay, this person's crossing my boundaries. I'm still not going to accept that, but they're also, to boot, they're not giving me that severely negative emotional reaction. And I think that's something to strive for, to look at the ways we've been gaslighted before, look at the topics they've talked about, and view them through a different lens and say, okay, why did this really bother me? Was it the lack of belief in myself? Was it something I did that I'm feeling guilty about, that I really need to accept myself more for? But I think there's clues there. I think it's not just, oh, they're being mean and gaslighting, so it's going to give me an emotional reaction. It's like, no, take it a step further. Heal those things so that they can no longer have that power over us, period. Like, believe in ourselves enough so they can never do that to us again. And this would be especially helpful in family situations, because we can't always completely cut someone off in the family. It'd be great if we could. It'd be great if we could just go no contact, but for some of us, we have to go least contact necessary. And so in that particular scenario, becoming gaslighting proof, healing the things they injured us on before, that is where the real salvation lies. It lies there, where they no longer have power over us anymore. We heal that codependency, or we heal the issue they would pick at us for, so that we become gaslighting proof. And to me, I'm just getting to this point in my own life where, I've been no contact with abusers before, and I'm realizing that's only half the journey. Only half the journey is being able to say no, stand up for myself, and put my foot down. The other half is figuring out why they were able to hurt me so much anyway. Why did I give them so much power over me? Why did I care so much about what they thought of me? And little sayings really helped me in this scenario too, where lions don't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep kind of thing. And those little sayings, they do really help me, as cornball as they may sound, but they actually help. And so I'm working on this next step of the journey, being able to heal those parts of myself so that any narcissistic abuser or abuser period will no longer be able to hurt me. I'm going to be emotionally level. And this goes for anybody. My goal, especially as a man, is to be less emotionally responsive, especially to strangers, right? People do this all the time on the internet where they get really caught up by what a stranger is saying to them, and they get really pulled in and get an emotional reaction. And I'm realizing that's weak. That's weak behavior. In order to be the best version of ourselves, especially as men, we remain emotionally detached from those kinds of things. We believe in ourselves so much that no one can give power over us. We believe in our beliefs so much that we know it doesn't matter if someone agrees with us or disagrees with us. We don't have to win them over to our side. We don't have to win the discussion or the argument. We just know, okay, this is what I think. I don't need everyone else to agree with me. And leave it at that, as opposed to having some sort of ego battle with it. To me, these are the places that we should be striving for, especially as men. But there's certainly some pragmatic use for this with women too. But I'm shooting for this, to become gaslighting proof, to not become emotionally responsive to people's thoughts and opinions of me and their words towards me. To get to that point, I think, is a great thing to aim for. And that's where salvation and peace really is, when we no longer let them bother us. Anyone. And think about it. Think about it in your own life. Who have you given the most power over yourself? Whose opinions do you care about the most? And why do you care about their opinions the most? And who are the people that hurt you the most? What kinds of things do they say? Figure it out. Write about it. Dig within yourself. Try to find out what's going on. And then heal those parts of yourself, or accept those parts of yourself, so that those abusers no longer have that power over you. And this is why I love coaching too, because it's not just a one-way street where I'm helping a client. When we go back and forth, it's kind of like a iron sharpens iron type thing where we help each other. And I learn things. I figure out things for myself that without the process, maybe I wouldn't have thought of, or remind myself of things that I should be doing. So I'm grateful for all the coaching clients that I have. So with that, I think that's enough for today. Please comment below what you think about this video. Agree, disagree. And to reiterate, this is not an excuse to break no contact. We still shouldn't allow people to disrespect us or abuse us. That never really helps us. But the goal is to become gaslighting proof. So in the cases where we do have to be around abusers, they no longer can hurt us. Right? They can no longer have that power over us. And that's where, like the Yoda saying, we train ourselves to be okay, regardless of what they could say. Fight it before it can even occur. So they have no more power over us. They can't hurt us anymore. That is what I aim for in my own life. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.